Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Jean. Let's dance a bit. This is Wednesday, 6th of May. Welcome to the new community call. We are just dancing because we saw that in the previous calls that we started dancing, there was like a peak in the audience, and then we started with the news, and audience went down. I guess this is how it works in the time of social media, right, Jean? How are you?
Yes, doing great here. Not with a great connection today, so sorry if I slow it down. And I always wanted to have like a radio, so now I have the Kleros radio. So I'm happy with that.
I think we could say that we are streamers now because we have a weekly stream. We prepare content. we discuss different topics. I guess we could say we are streamers. We can put that into our CV, right?
Yes, yeah. I think we can add like some sounds that the streamers use. Maybe that will make us more of streamers. But yeah.
And we are also open to people from the community and not from the community that make suggestions of like we can put new sections into the show. We can I don't know. Whatever people want. We can do. If you want us to do like some section about sports. I can speak about football. William can speak about baseball. I don't know, Jean. What you're not like a big sports fan, so I don't know.
No, right now I think the main thing that I can talk about are the AI tools that I've been using.
Yeah, What about AI tips. Like you can give tips to use AI and for you're the only Brazilian who doesn't like football. I know, at least. Like it's a weird thing.
Well, I really like football, but I do not follow it. So, but I love the World Cups. So I'm looking forward to this World Cup.
Who do you want to win? If there is a game between Argentina and Brazil in the World Cup, who do you want to win?
Argentina, yeah. I used to root for Brazil when I was a kid, and then at some point I stopped. And so since I've moved, I always root for Argentina. I know you don't believe me, but that's true.
I actually, the worst thing is I do believe you, because I do believe you actually, that's a weird thing. Okay, let's see. So last week's the topic that we discussed mostly was about the obvious situation with the bridges and the bailout. Last week I made a presentation about how the bailout or all of these incidents looks a lot like the panic of 1907 when there was this big bank run affecting many of the banks in the US, and then this was before the Federal Reserve, and so there was like the situation was put under control because of some private participation or intervention by JP Morgan, who gather all of the financiers to orchestrate private bailout, and this saved the US financial system from basically collapsing. And this is a lot like DeFi United. I think the situation is now stabilized, right, Jean? From what I see.
There are some strange things happening because there are some people that sued the arbitral DAO to get the funds from another person that has a claim against North Korea, and then now they made a response to that, and then now I think the probably the court needs to decide how they would like to proceed, and maybe the DAO may choose to release the funds or not. So there's still some discussion going on, but the funds were raised, so I think maybe the most important part is already settled.
Last week after the presentation, some people ask me, how did I know so much about the financial history? I'm Argentinian. If you're Argentinian, you definitely know, it's like part of your DNA about knowing that. This week I was just watching a documentary, about not about finance. It was like just about another topic. But this happened in the late 1970s in Argentina, and you could see like people like this was time when there was like a big financial turmoil, and like a big money appreciation. The peso was worth like a lot. Peso goes up and down, and you could see like people, like a guy who was a waiter in a restaurant in Argentina, and he was explaining how in that time he took money from a bank and put it in another to look for the interest rates. Because you had to be faster. You had the interest rate very high to get the money from the banks for putting the money, the interest rate high, and then there was a devaluation happening, and you had to put the money and take it out and then switch into dollars before the devaluation happened. So you have to calculate, how much you can win before the devaluation takes your dollar, denominated currency. Before. So this was like the everyday DNA in Argentina. So like this is how people became like very much of like I don't want to say financial experts, but if you go to speak to like waiters, taxi drivers, whatever, they know what is the exchange rate for the dollar to the peso. Do you in Brazil people know what is the exchange rate of the real gene to the dollar? I don't know.
No, not like it's very hard. Like only if you like do business with the US or something like that. Otherwise, people don't know. And I was very impressed here. Like everyone really knows and like have their own tips and tricks on how to handle the system. So
everyone knows about money, about the interest rates, about the exchange rates. So this is like everyday economics just to survive in this environment. And then of course that is my DNA. But then I like learned. I educated myself, and people ask me for some recommendations about. So if you want to learn more about this type of topics, there's tons of things I've read about this. One very good book that also turned into like a documentary at the BBC it's one called The Ascent of Money by Neil Ferguson. He's a historian. He's from Scotland, but no, he's at Stanford. He's at the Hoover Institute, and he has this book like it's about like how money starts, insurance, and how all of the beginnings of the stock brokers, all of the things we always mention about the London Stock Exchange. So this is an excellent book. And then there's many books by him that I read, but this one is very good. There's The Ascent of Money. Then another one is this is a bit of a like a big brick. If you want to read something before sleeping and something that puts you to sleep, there is one by Milton Friedman. It's the monetary history of the U.S. It's a very, very long one, but it has like it's all 19th and 20th century. It's like long. Then another one by Murray Rothbard. He has different, because Austrian economists, they love, like monetary issues. And one very good book about this from Rothbard is What Has the Government Done to Our Money? And this is if you want to see the, I don't want to say conspiracy theory of the Fed. If you want the conspiracy theory of the Fed, do read The Creator of Jekyll Island. I mentioned this in my talk. So the Rothbard is a very good one, of course, from an Austrian perspective. And then about financial crisis, there is one by an economist called Kenneth Rogoff called This Time is Different, 800 Years of Financial Folly. And it shows how, in every crisis, since the tulips, like mania in, Amsterdam, it's always the same thing, there's a new asset class, and there is like people leveraging, and then people say, no, this is a new economy, the system is different, and then it's not different, and, it ends up, going down as usual. And then, of course, if you haven't done so, and if you don't have time, there is bunch of movies that actually are about financial crisis. One of them is The Big Short that we mentioned last week. Then there is this one about the night when all of the sale starts with Have you watched Margin Call, Gene? Uh,
No, I
with,
haven't.
with
I only know it for the memes. I know the
Yeah,
scene
okay. With
currently
Demi Moore,
discussed.
with Demi Moore, that she's like a risk, and all of the inside, negotiations happening, between the within like one of a big investment bank that see themselves holding a big pile of not great assets, to put it mildly, and then how they try to sell them, and there is like this glorious scene where you have Jeremy Irons, who is the CEO, and he comes with a helicopter, and he says, there is like a great, scene where he says, well, there is three ways to make money in this industry. One of them is is by cheating. Well, but I don't cheat. Second one is by being smarter than the others. But I think that they are very smart people in this room, but I'm not sure we are the smartest. And the third one is by being the first. And so this is how they start, selling all of their assets to people who didn't know what the situation was. So this is a great book. And then there is a great book. This is a movie. And then there is this other one that is about, it's like more of a documentary that you see from the point of view of the government. You have I think it was done 10 years after the crisis of 2008. And you have it's Hank Paulson, Tim Geithner, and Bernanke, and then remembering what happened, when the crisis and how they managed and all of the negotiation and all of the things that happened behind, the scenes at the time. Okay, so there you go. That's a few things if you want to spend some time about financial history. Okay, yeah. So that is what we discussed last week, and so we can close now here. Anything else, Jim, to mention about this?
No, just that we have been talking. Maybe if we can add Fortunato to talk a little bit about the new discussions that we are having with people related to that. I don't know if you are ready, Fortunato. Yeah, the new.
Hey, hello guys.
Hello, Fortunato. What is going to be your team for the World Cup?
I have to decide. I haven't decided yet. Certainly, I know what will not be. Probably Bosnia, because we lost to them. But
that's
the closest thing you have is Argentina, right?
Sorry.
The closest thing you have is Argentina. People were saying that Italian people should cheer for Argentina because it's kind of, a bit like more or less similar, right? Because of the last name of the players, you have Messi and you have like.
That's also it would be good to see winning 2 in a row. I don't even recall if there were in recent times any national team doing that, winning 2 World Cups in a row. Maybe in the 30s or 40s, but recently I don't think so.
Actually, that's a really good question. I'm trying to see. I don't think anyone won 2 in a row. Yes, Brazil, 58 and 62.
Okay.
They won in Sweden and in Chile. So yeah. There you go.
Very good memory. Very good memory.
You can fact check me, but I think I'm not wrong.
I trust that.
This is like the brain of an Argentinian. There's half a part dedicated to finance and economics, and a part dedicated to football.
Yeah. And as an Argentinian, what's your forecast? Is this possible?
No, it's in my view, it's bearish because this is basically the same team as the last World Cup, but even older, and they don't seem very focused. Honestly, they kind of are like fooling around. They don't seem like they are like they don't seem they want to win. Honestly, I don't know. Hopefully I'm wrong, but what do you think, Jim?
They need to lose the first match and then reignite flame like the other time.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Maybe they need to lose the first match as last World Cup.
I remember last World Cup, the one with Saudi Arabia. I think it was the first match that Argentina lost in 2022. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Good. Okay, well, Fortunato, let's speak a bit about what we are trying to
Mhm.
do regarding all of the things that happened, the DeFi
Mhm.
United and the curation for better financial stability. How can we help?
Okay, so last week we've been talking about the hacks that happened, and we do already have the tools to tackle these. We have Curate, we have Stay Curate. Now we are planning to launch a new list dedicated to security in DeFi, and what we're doing now, which is usually, I would say, probably one of the most important thing when creating a new list on Curate is defining the requirements. And the approach we are taking right now is that, as you know, we have plenty of partners we work with. We work with wallets, we work with block explorers. So we are now gathering some feedbacks from them to understand what could be what kind of information would the users like to consume when they are on their platform, and that then could be useful for the interactions and to avoid the type of hacks that happen. So yeah, this is the focus that we are having right now in DeFi. And I don't know if, Jean, you can also show my screen that I am sharing. Okay, great. So, following this update related to DeFi, we are also bringing several updates to our front end to make it easier for users to interact. For example, the list you are seeing now is the contract domain name, so that it's matching the domains with a specific contract, and this was particularly relevant with the CoSwap hack, so that if your domain gets hacked and you have a new malicious actor controlling it, they may swap the address with a malicious one. And with this registry, you know which address belongs to a certain domain. So this is one of the use cases that we already have ready to be used, and it is actively used. Actually, for some of you who do not know, this registry was born in a partnership with Ledger, and they are displaying this information on their wallets. So back to the front end update that I wanted to give, we are releasing a lot of new and different feature. One of those that was requested by user, for example, is having a dedicated page for submissions instead of having a pop-up to focus more on what you are submitting because you have money at stake. So it is important that you focus on your submission. Also, another interesting thing is the confirmation of the transaction. This was also given by our users who told us we would like to have a dedicated page when we finish our submission work, and with all the information, the transaction hash, the submitter address, how long it will take for an item to be included in the registry. And I would say I would encourage our users to keep giving us feedback, because all of these features that we are adding here will probably be replicated on Curate v2. So they will improve the general user experience. One last thing is that we have been working on restructuring our database. As you know, we do not just have the single registry entries, but we also have the ATQ, which has a massive number of verified addresses.
I had no idea there are so many contracts. Honestly, I mean, there are 2,600,000 contracts. That's a lot.
Yes, exactly. This is a huge number, and the reason why we are perfecting this database is because it will be easier for us to export it to our current partners that you already probably know, and also because we would like to open this database to any consumer. This API will be accessible by anyone. So even if you are building your own small application, you will have your agent, you have your bot operating on chain, it will be extremely easy to fetch data from our registry. The information, just to reassure everyone, the information will always be open to everyone for check, for challenges. The reason why this is taking more time and we are doing this is that all these registries are different. We fetch information in different ways. So we are putting them in a single database for easier exporting. And another interesting news, we reached 800 cases on Gnosis Court. These cases right now are coming mainly from Curation Court, which it's not just Curate. Actually, it's not just Scout, but also entries from Curate, from SEER, and also from Proof of Humanity. So it is a very good idea to stake there. And soon we will have a new version of this court with hidden voting that right now we have the live proposal, the KYP 87, that it is live. So one very last update that I would like to close our weekly news with is related to agents. Surprisingly, last week you didn't hear us mentioning agents, but this doesn't mean that we are not working on that front. In particularly, we are working on IPFS uploads related to agents who will interact with the Kleros ecosystem. This will not be just related to Curate, but will be related to all our apps to simplify interaction of agents with Kleros apps. So just because it's not being hyped, it doesn't mean that we are not working on it. We are actively working on it with our dev team. So yeah, these are the main updates from Curate from last week.
So step by step, it's becoming a key part of the infrastructure for the future of finance. I mean, to put it mildly, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely.
The future of agentic finance, I would even add, if you want. Okay.
Yeah, the future in general. Like we would expand this always in the future in general. Yeah, that's
the gold
very
protocol.
cool.
No, that's too much, maybe. Okay. Thank you, Fortunato. Anything else you want to mention or no? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like as always, we could go talking about these topics for quite long. So yeah, let's keep it to the last week updates.
Thank you, Fortunato. And now let's switch gears completely from the world of agentic finance, the future of DeFi and all that, to one of the favorite topics. My aunt Rosita, who lives in Curuzucuatia, it's a city in a province in Argentina, and she has many claims with. Well, she's a bit of I don't want to put it this way, but she's a bit of a complicated person. And so she gets into lots of trouble. And so she visits, the small claims court in her town, like quite often. And she's looking for like a faster, cheaper solution for her little small claims against the bakery guy, the where she bought, her TV and all that. So, what can we offer to people like Rosita from different who have like lots of different neighborhood and consumer claims, all around Argentina and the world? Marcos, hello.
How are you guys? Am I talking with Federico Ast or with Alejandro Fantino?
We are good friends, so good. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, it was a typical introduction of Fantino. But yes, I think the best answer for that, it will be you should come to the webinar next Monday where we are going to be talking about that. But yes, if you want, we can talk about what we have been working this week and what we are going to be doing next Monday. So yes, the main thing for the week is the webinar that we are going to be handling next Monday at 6 p.m. Argentina time, where we have the three persons most important that are attending to the webinar are the Fernanda, that is a jury of Mendoza, and she has been sending cases to Kleros, the famous consumer and neighbor conflicts that they are dealing in La Valle in Mendoza. Well, she's behind that process. Then we have Alejandra, who is behind the process of Junín, And well, Sergio, who is from Derecho en Zapatillas, is he going to be kind of a moderator, or we are going to be asking him questions?
I'm going to be a moderator, but Sergio is going to, I mean, like present. I mean, he's like a very important influencer from, I mean, Latin America about consumer protection, and he helps people on Twitter and on social media to, I mean, if people ask him questions about, well, I had this problem with this airline or this, supermarket or whatever, and then he explains this on social media, and I mean, he has like a big following. I think maybe, I don't know, 300,000 followers, and we have known him for a while because of what we do can be a tool for protection of consumers in like lots of different industries. So he has been following, a bunch what we do. So yeah, and I invited him to come and speak a bit about how in his experience he has been like helping consumers by, I mean, helping them promote their claims on social media. Sometimes, if you are just a consumer and you have a problem with the company, and then nobody cares, about, because you're just a nobody, but when he retweets your complaint against the company, and 500,000 people see it, then companies, start caring about that because of reputational damage and all that. So that is how, like, I don't know if I would call it like online activism for consumer protection, but this is kind of what he has been doing for years now, and this is why we have this connection with him.
Yeah,
So he will come to
and I think it's a good opportunity where he can tell us why the consumers need this, and on the other side we will have these people from government entities that are going to be telling us how they are using Kleros Enterprise tool to have a better resolution for the citizens, to have faster resolutions, and all this with you as a moderator and Facu, who is in the legal side of Kleros. I think it's going to be very interesting, and explain not just to our users or whoever is interested in Kleros, but to maybe other government entities, to show them how Kleros Enterprise is being used, and it could be used by their in their towns or cities too.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's going to be we're going to have some very interesting talks.
I think you can share the screen. Do you have the brochure here, so you can show it on the screen so people can see it and then they can sign up? I mean, this is going to be next Monday at 6 p.m. Argentina time. So and while you look for that, I can tell you a bit. This is important because it's also like a good way to show. I mean, all of this is built on Ethereum, like this is a way to show, like, look, I mean, Ethereum is not only, like a DeFi thing, which of course it is, but it's also, like tools that anyone can understand, even on Rosita can understand how this works and what is the problem it solves. So, and this is, I think at this moment, it's a good way for also the Web3 to legitimize, itself through like a real life, things. Right?
Something funny? I have a very basic pitch of Kleros Enterprise or of Kleros, because I used to talk with people from fintechs or from government entities that doesn't really know what blockchain is. So when I explain Kleros, I don't used to talk a lot about technology and blockchain. And when we were when we were in ETC, and people was coming to our stand and asking us about, well, what's your company? What are you guys doing there? After my pitch, they were asking me like, hey, this is very interesting, but where is the blockchain? Where is Ethereum? Where is the technology? And I realized that my pitch was, again, it was very basic for these people. I was never talking about blockchain and those things.
I mean, for some types of like public audiences, I mean, mentioning, blockchain is like a liability. It's not an asset, because they immediately think of scams and pyramid stuff. So it's definitely not like what we want to promote, and especially when you sell a service that is like based on trust, and this is and just so we don't have like I mean, when I speak to people who are not from the Web3 industry, I I don't mention blockchain. Unfortunately, I would like to mention it, and people appreciate the value it adds. But unfortunately, because of some bad actors in the industry, it is what it is. What can I say?
And in most of industries that are not related to Web3, they don't even know what blockchain is. Another funny story that once we were pitching Kleros Enterprise to a company, remember Fede, and after our pitch, they asked us, okay, very interesting, but what does blockchain means? So
yeah. What does blockchain means?
Yeah, that was with people from Mendoza too. But yeah, well, going back to business, I think that the most important thing for the week is the webinar, where again the talks that we are going to have are very interesting. And well, besides that, we were in another talks with some other leads and uploading some cases in the court. But yes, the main thing for the week is the webinar, definitely.
So regarding,
go ahead.
Yeah, regarding these cases that we are receiving, I think it's nice to mention that we will have the first time that we will have people from Junin talking about the integration. For now, it was kind of stealth, and right now if I'm not mistaken, we received around 30 cases, and I don't know, 5 cases per week or something. So it's ramping up. So. They recently mentioned that they are happy with the results, right?
Yeah. Yes, I think maybe this is one of the first times that we are talking in public about the integration with Junin. That's true. And about, yes, we have been receiving good quantity of cases each week. And working a lot in these cases, mostly with the anonymization side, because evidences here are most of the times are long, and we have to anonymize all personal information. This week I was helping Lucia, and it's taking us some time. Of course, we are using AI tools and some other tools, but yes.
And another thing is that this is the first integration that uses the V2 court with SBTs. So the the jurors in these courts are only lawyers. So and it's also a feature that is only available on V2. So that's also very cool.
Yeah, that's a good point to mention, and that's actually the reason why at the beginning we didn't have enough jurors with these specific characteristics, and some jurors were receiving too many cases. But now we have more jurors. Actually, a few more that are going to be they're going to be part of our court or start being part of our court next week. So we are getting more jurors for this court. And about the other question that you asked me, if they were happy with the resolutions in Junin, they are definitely, and that's why they continue sending us cases. Maybe the best person to talk about this is Alejandra, who is going to be in the webinar next Monday, but she told us this tool is making her job much more efficient than it was before. But again, I that's a spoiler. Let's wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually, the first time I would say in the life of the project where we have too many cases and not enough jurors. Typically it was the opposite. We had jurors and not enough cases, so they got frustrated. Now we have too many cases, which is the hard part for us. And then, and this is scaling up, and this is also. We are super happy how this is going, and so this is why if you want to learn more about this, Monday, a webinar 6 p.m. Argentinian time, we will have Maria Fernanda from Mendoza, and this is where it all started in the Lavalle Juzgado de Paz. It's a small claims court from Lavalle, and then this is her. There's going to be Alejandra from Junin, where we are getting most of the cases now. Then we have Sergio, who is this influencer who has been working a lot with the protection of consumers online and activism for consumer protection. And then there's going to be Facu, who is going to explain a bit about the legal elements of all this. and then I'm going to just welcome people and be the host, but I don't have too much, more to add. So yeah, save the date. It's going to be in Spanish. Maybe at some point we can do another one in English, and so or we can just maybe just dub this one. Gene, I want to see all of the people that get dubbed into English.
Yeah, I think I'll do that for some clips. So yeah, if you miss it, you have this option.
Cool. Okay. Well, so last thing, Marcos, what are your predictions for the World Cup?
I was talking with some friends today. I am still out of the World Cup. I need to start watching more information or videos or whatever. But my predictions, I have to say Argentina is the champion again. Those are my predictions.
Okay, hopefully. And you're more into rugby, right?
No. I really like football.
Okay. Okay. Well, anything else, or we're done for it? Okay.
That's all from my side.
Okay, let's go. William, are you there?
Yep. Everybody.
Hello, William. I see you have your Canada, clothing for the kid, right?
Expos specifically. My
the Expos.
Yeah. Baseball team.
Yeah. Well, what is your prediction for Canada in the World Cup?
So, to recall, in Canada's historic World Cup participations, we've participated twice before, and we went 0-3 both times. So this time, I'm cautiously optimistic that we will win a game. Even cautiously optimistic we will make it out of the group. So I think we'll maybe finish second in the group and maybe the first round of the pass in a good optimistic setting, maybe second round of the playoffs.
I am praying that you will get a ticket for the World Cup at a reasonable price. I don't know how, but I mean, since you are not very far, yeah.
The prices are high, and the only match that Canada is playing and that's sort of nearby to me is the one match they play in Toronto, which we will be in the UK speaking on that day. So my professional obligations are getting in the way.
Yeah, but I mean, we will watch that game actually together. That is on Friday, I think, and that is we already have plans to watch the game together. Argentina actually starts playing the next week, so I'm not losing any game. And so one thing I wanted to I was thinking of you the other day because since I started to feel like this World Cup vibes, and so I rewatched a very famous movie that is the 1986 official FIFA movie that is in Spanish. It's called Heroes, and it's about Maradona and the 1986 campaign of Argentina winning the World Cup. And guess what team is on that movie, William? 1986.
Well, I assume Canada, because that was
the
first time we ever qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah, there's Canada and amateur players, right?
Yeah. So I mean, most of the players were not full-time football professionals. The hero, if I recall correctly, of the match that qualified for them the World Cup, I think it was against Nicaragua. I'm not 100% sure. In sort of the decisive match, the guy who scored the winning goal, full-time day job was to be a water meter reader. So he went around for the water company reading people's water meters.
And then he had the World Cup the other day, playing against Maradona or no. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, looking forward to watching that game together in England. And tell us a bit about your news, William.
Yeah. So as we've mentioned, we have an upcoming packed tour of academic talks or sort of talks at different universities. So next week, I think we're giving an online sort of guest lecture at Ben Gurion University. And then as mentioned, we have a full list of talks in the UK, some of which will be open to the public in June. So I think on June 8th, we'll be speaking at King's College London, where we've spoken before. We have good relations with the sort of computer science people there. On the 9th, we'll be at Oxford, and on the 11th, we'll be at the University of Edinburgh. So if you're around those places, you want to hear these talks. Some will be more geared towards computer science people, some more legal themes. Particularly again, we have good relations with the computer science people at KCL. I think there's a fair amount of excitement, where I'm trying to pump excitement about some of the social choice theory research that I've done. All these questions around what are the right voting and incentive systems for Kleros-like systems. They're very rich research problems here that mirror whole fields of research in computer science and economics. And I try to spread the gospel to get other people interested in these research problems. So I will be doing that gospel spreading.
Perfect. We need to do lots of that. I mean, evangelizing the world, decentralized justice. So it's going to be really, really great. So June 8th, King's College, June 9 at Oxford, and June, I think, 11 at Edinburgh University. So yeah, this is going to be we could call it the UK tour, let's say. So yeah, I mean, us getting invited to speak at all of those places is amazing. And then also we are finishing a chapter we wrote with William about DeFi and decentralized justice and how you can use, some of the things we discussed with Fortunato before and the DeFi United situation and how you can use curation for reducing the risk of DeFi, and also how you can use Kleros for resolving disputes happening, in DAOs. And you might have noticed that, around all of this problem with the Aave situation, there's different actors who, blame each other for what happened. So this is potentially a situation, and in the future, a mechanism like Kleros could help resolve. So this is things that are happening because the world is moving into this direction, and the time of this chapter is it's amazing, because this is when we started writing this, there was obviously not the situation with Aave, but there was other hacks, but not something as big as what is going on with Aave. And so yeah, I think we are addressing many of the problems that the industry has at the moment. I remember one thing, that I do know that there was another country that won the World Cup twice in a row, and that was Italy. Just my brain, 1934 and 38, the Mussolini Italy won the World Cup, twice in a row. So there you go. Argentinians, finance is connected to football in the other side of the brain. So this is why, speaking of DeFi, basically brought, that memory. Okay. I guess that's it. Jean, anything else we want to comment?
I think these are the main things. Just would like to repeat that we have now a vote open on the Kleros DAO to implement a new court that Fortunato mentioned. It's a court with hidden voting on Gnosis chain for curation. And this court, the court that we have now, received, I think, around 30 cases last month. So this is a pretty interesting improvement. So these cases will be routed next month if this proposal passes to this court with committee and review. So yeah, I think this could improve the results of the court.
Well, I guess that's it, guys. Next time we will see each other is on Monday at 6 p.m. for the webinar about consumer protection in Argentina. So if you are interested into all of these situations, a real life, world applications of blockchain, you will see a bunch of examples told by the protagonists who are actually working on this. This is not like a theory. It's not an abstract idea we have. This is what is working in municipalities in Argentina, and we hope that this is going to be spread to more places. So Monday 6 p.m. and otherwise, if you want to come to the next call of the community in English, it's going to be Wednesday at 6 p.m. UTC. So thank you all for coming, and see you on Monday. Bye bye.
Everybody.
Everyone.